Good morning. It's 9 a.m. I know, gay people and an LGBTQ plus Kiki at 9 in the freaking morning? Whose idea was that? Oh wait, it was my idea. That's why I'm still in bed. Me? I'm FayWhat, and I'm gonna help you get your week started off right. We have lots of fun things to talk about. It's gonna be a fantastic week.
Gay boys, hashtag that girl, sunbeams, drag queens, L-word, is that girl, the girl of all our dreams. She's everything that every girl should be. Aqua, South Beach, hashtag that girl, pride-filled, tea-dance, Wilton, is that girl, Latina, but she's universal too. If you find a girl to love, only one girl to love, then she'll be that girl too. That girl.
The FayWhat Show is America's first LGBTQ plus morning show, and we're live right now on Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, Amazon Fire Television, YouTube, and Facebook. I'm also on demand, baby. It's Monday, March 27th, 2023. So first, for Women's History Month at the FayWhat Show, we want to spotlight women that aren't usually spotlighted, right? And today we spotlight Louise Lawrence. Yes, all right, and Dr. Kinsey. So a building manager by trade in San Francisco in the 1940s, Louise Lawrence, a trans woman, was also an artist and activist who helped build a correspondence network for trans people that became the basis for the Transvestia magazine subscription list. Lawrence also corresponded with Dr. Alfred Kinsey, introducing him to trans people for his studies. She also lived with her female partner for many years before she died at age 63. I love to spotlight women. Those are the women that we stepped on their shoulders to get to where we're at right now, right? So keep on celebrating Women's History Month. Next, let's kiki about what's going on in the LGBTQ plus community. I have a new sidekick joining me in bed for some conversation. What else did you think? I wouldn't know what to do with this big white bear guy. All right. Our first segment is called Gay Boys Sleep Late. And this morning I'm joined by my gay guy pal, Paul Rhodes. He's a 6-time Grammy nominated producer, musician who owns a popular band, digital PR company. Paul lives in Miami Beach, Florida. Follow him on Facebook at Paul List. Paul is here and now. Nice one, Paul. Good morning, Paul. Welcome to FayWhat's Bed. Cause what's going on, Paul? How are you, honey?
Yeah, waking up.
Waking up? I know. I really do appreciate you being in bed with me. I know that when I first said, hey, Paul, why don't you come in bed with me? You were all fine about it until I said it was at 9 in the morning. And then all of a sudden you're like, I have to work out. I gotta manscape. I gotta have some coffee.
Wait, who wakes up at 9?
Only on Monday mornings do I wake up at 9.
Right.
You know that. How you feeling, baby?
I'm good. I'm really good.
Yeah?
Super excited to be here.
I am so happy that you're here.
I love being in bed with you.
Said most men. Yeah, right. Let's talk about your shirt. Let's see.
Okay.
Let's talk about this shirt. I love big and hairy dudes. Period. There should be a period there. Okay.
Yeah.
So Paul is a Grammy nominated producer.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
And when are you going to get back into that?
I'm not sure. I left it a couple years ago, and it's something that I love with all my heart. Music is how my soul speaks. But it was a large part of my life, but I'm not sure if that's a road I want to travel down anymore.
I got you.
I've not decided yet.
You haven't decided yet?
There's still parts of me that want to go back. I got a studio full of gear sitting in my living room that I look at on a daily basis and go, yeah, maybe. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, but do you ever turn on the radio and listen to a song and go, oh, I thought about something similar to this, or this could have been better if they did this, and that?
Daily.
Really?
And it's one of those things I like when I'm working out, I put the music on and I listen, and I think how much I miss writing it. How much that energy and that zest I used to.
So just write. So just start writing and see where that goes. I mean, maybe it's one of those things that it's hard to. Okay, so something that me and Paul share and that I love. We love animals, and we also are both in sobriety, and not an easy thing to do. And, so one of the things that happens when we first get sober is like, oh, there's no way we could do all the things we did before because we used to do those things effed up. You know, so like, is that kind of like a little fear also at all, or no?
You know, I think the biggest thing for me was that I never wrote music sober. So the thought of, I mean, I did, but not as sober as I should have been. The thought of going back and doing that without that kind of like what I used to do, I don't know if I'm even capable. And
You are.
And I think there's a huge fear behind that of what the outcome will be. But you know, so far nothing has stopped me from being shocked by this. So
no, I get, and to be aware is a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
You know, but it's not. It's hard. It's like a mind screw because you're like, oh, there's no way. You know, I got sober and I said I'd never pick up a microphone again. I was like, that's it. I'm done. You know, I'm not going to be funny enough. I'm not going to be able to. I'm not going to be fun enough. It's not going to be the same anymore. And thank God I was wrong. And I think that you're wrong too.
Well, maybe there's an album inside of me.
Maybe there's an album inside of you somewhere. Yeah, somewhere. But you know what usually makes people feel better about like writing and letting go, you know, taking off their shirts.
That's how I wrote every album. Was almost butt naked in my house.
No. But seriously, okay. So let's first of all say hi to Natalie and who else made the shirt for you?
Ray.
Natalie and Ray. Hi. How are you, kids?
Thank you. We
basically, now since, you know, Paul is single and he's looking to mingle, instead of like telling people, hey, I'm Paul and I'm looking for a big and hairy dude, they figured, you know what, Paul, don't talk. Just be cute and be silent. Wear it on your shirt and then the boys will come.
You know what's funny? I was walking in South Beach and I was walking up to South Point Pier and two of the park rangers stopped me and he goes, hey, is my friend Harry and big enough? And I started laughing. I was like, well, kind of. Didn't get a number, but it was definitely it works. I get attention when I put it on.
Yes. Well, that guy might call you back. I mean who knows? I love that. Okay, how about if the guy is small and hairy?
Still good. As long as they're hairy.
Okay, how about if the guy is big and not hairy? Then no.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, but you're hairy and the other guy's hairy, so isn't that like a big Brillo pad kind of stuff happening in bed, or is that how you like it?
I'd like to think, yeah, I mean, kind of. I'd like to think it was like two big bears in the woods just, you know, embracing.
Let's take a moment and picture that.
Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
I like it. Okay, now take off your top. Thank you, Nine. Thank you. Yeah! Woohoo! That was for you and you and you and you and you. Okay? Don't tell people I never got you anything. You see? I love this. Do you manscape?
A little bit.
What does that entail?
So, well, let's see. As you get older, your chest hair color changes. So there's a lot of dyeing going on here.
I sure hope not. There's a lot of dyeing.
There's a lot of dyeing going on here, and there's a lot of shaping and trimming and making sure it doesn't. Yeah.
I know boys that would love to freaking pitch a tent and all of that, and then just stay there for the summer, right? All right, let's get to work, okay? I'm here talking crap with Paul like if we're at home talking crap. Me and Paul have a great relationship, and it's a wonderful thing that we're, aside from being the boy in bed today, we're also friends. So we get to like sit outside and just talk crap all the time. So what you're gonna see today is basically what we do when the camera's not rolling. Maybe with less curse words.
I'll behave today, I promise.
We'll try. We'll see. All right, there's a lot of interesting things going on this week in the LGBTQ plus community. Paul, let's kiki on some of them now. Is that cool?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's do it. So first, is your partner baby talking with you a turnoff, or do you find it sweet and endearing? Is baby talk something more common amongst straight people? Do gay men recoil from it as it's not seen as manly? Baby talk is the focus of the latest video from YouTube comic Michael Henry, who manages to raise laughs aplenty and food for thought. Henry thinks baby talk is straight people shit, but Henry's friends admit that they often indulge in it from time to time. One even quotes a survey that found 2/3 of relationships use baby talk occasionally. Is baby talk in gay couples a wide reality? Watch this.
Do you think Dave Thomas is hot? As in the founder of Wendy's? Yeah. Well, there's a big difference between do I think somebody's hot versus what I smash.
Would you smash?
Yeah.
Okay, honey. Oh yeah, I love you. I'll see you soony woony. Watch a movie. Kissy kissy.
You guys weren't supposed to hear that.
What was that?
I was just talking to my girlfriend, okay?
Like a baby?
Like someone I care for, yeah.
Weird.
It's normal, okay? You do it.
Hell no, gay men don't do baby talk. That's some straight people shit.
And why's that?
Because we don't like babies.
Yeah, and it's got too much of a weird power play, parent-child thing.
Oh, please, you guys call each other daddy and pee on each other.
That's normal. How could you screw somebody that you talk baby talk to?
Yeah, do they like talk like a baby when they screw?
You know what? This is a part of my personal life that I don't feel like sharing with you guys.
They talk baby talk to each other, Michael.
This is really off-putting.
Look, I'm not gonna come on someone who talks like a baby to me.
Yeah, that's just great.
You guys are baby talk shaming me.
I have an admission.
Go on.
Matthew and I talk baby talk to each other too. What? It's true. Listen.
I love my Tommy Rummy, and I'm making my little schmookums macaroni and tweeze. Yummy.
I'm vomiting in my mind.
But we're in love. And we talk baby talk to each other just like straight people.
Is that straight people shit? Is baby talk a thing between gay boys? What are we all talking about? What do you think, Paul? Any baby talk with your exes or current side pieces? I mean,
I don't think, you know what? I don't think my ex-husband and I ever baby talked, like ever. And I think if, honest to God, if some guy did that to me now, I'd be like, hey, great. It just
okay, so it would be a turn off, right?
That's not my, I mean, it was kind of cute. Like the video was really cute, what they just did.
Yeah.
You know, like, hey, baby, but I don't know. It's just not my.
Well, okay, you said with your ex-husband, and you had been with him for a while, and it's like, I've been with Teresa for about 8 years now with my wife, the Cuban, and I can't even imagine going, oh, Carolina, my baby, my Candy, my love, I love you, wait till I can see you home. Oh, my little Cuban, I can't wait to pinch that ass. Like, it just wouldn't come,
No.
You know my wife,
Yeah.
Okay? Like, can you even see that?
Click.
She would have been like, click. Be like, oh, Faye's using again, right? That's what it would be, you know? But any friends do that you know of?
You know,
Or heteros, the breeders?
Oh my God, I love that word, the breeders. I freaking live
They
for
can
that word.
freaking call us the groomers, which I freaking hate. We need to start like finding other
breeders.
words, the
Yeah,
breeders.
The breeders. You know, actually, that's not true. Ray and Natalie do that to each other.
I know Ray and Natalie. Hi.
Yeah, and I think
they're adorable kids.
And I think, yeah, that's it's kind of a turn off.
But
it's
you know,
really gross.
okay, if you like baby talk and the other person likes baby talk, then you found your match, and then awesome, like them, you know, fantastic. You know, when you come with like two people like me and my wife that are already in our 40s, ornery, and be like, F you, we're gonna be like, hey baby, oh
That's
my
more,
God.
that's more my speed. I think, honest to God, like I think they brought up some good points about the fact that there's a lot of cross-cultural things that come into our community that are part of the straight community that just don't fit well in our community. Just like we have things that wouldn't fit well in theirs, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like sex on top of the pool table at Ramrod. That doesn't really go with the heteros.
I mean, no, it doesn't. It absolutely does not.
If you don't know what Ramrod is, folks, look it up, okay? It's down here in Wilton Manors, and, you know, gay boys, if you're ever in South Florida and you have not gone to Ramrod, have you really lived?
That's true. It's true.
Right?
The guy I'm talking to right now, kind of talking to Miguel. Like if he did that, I would be like, all right, you know what, bro, you got to go.
I
Like,
can't believe you
we're
said
done.
his name, but at least you said like the most common Latin name
Well, I
like
didn't say
ever
his
known
last
to man.
name.
At least it's not Jose, but it was Miguel, like
I mean,
real
it's still,
close.
it's still.
You know Miguel from 19th Street, you know? But if you
he's
like,
a pal.
okay, but if you like him, and right now like you're in that like that honeymoon time, right? So maybe if like he slips in some baby talk like in a month, would it be a deal breaker? No, right?
I'd probably punch him.
No, you wouldn't.
I'm sorry.
He'd probably punch him. Did you hear him? Like, what is wrong
Well, like,
with
you know,
Bear?
a loving punch. Just
Oh,
like
a loving
little,
punch.
Like a little, yeah, exactly, like that. Like, cut it out.
Cut it
If
out.
you ever
No,
want this
like,
again.
like for real. No, really cut it out. All right, so baby talk is a no. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah,
You know,
it's not my thing.
It's
I
not,
just-
not
it's
for
kinda-
us.
it's just,
But we talk baby talk to dogs.
Well, that's
Isn't that
different.
hysterical though?
Yeah.
Come on, folks, right? Because everybody at home right now is like, yeah, I do too. Like, you know, to our dogs, to our cats, but like to each other, no.
We already did that with Luna today.
We do that with Luna all the
We
time.
did that with Luna today already.
Luna's the best dog. And at the end of the day, all you have to do is be you, right? Be you. Next, scientists just created mice with two biological dads, okay? And hope to replicate the process with humans. After creating stem cells from 8-week-old male mice, scientists manipulated the genetic code of the cell to create a mature egg. After successful cultivation, the eggs were fertilized and implanted into a surrogate mouse, which eventually resulted in the birth of 7 mouse pups. Mouse pups. Wow, how cute. The breakthrough could revolutionize infertility treatments as well as potentially create a new method of conception for same-sex couples. Research director Katsuhiko Hayashi presented the findings at the 3rd International Summit on Human Genome Editing at the Francis Crick Institute in London in March, at the beginning of this month. He told attendees that studies could potentially result in successful replications with human cells within a decade. All right, within a decade. I believe in science even more after this. Watch this.
Scientists have created mice with 2 biological fathers by generating eggs from male cells, a development that opens up radical new possibilities for reproduction. The advance could ultimately pave the way for treatments for severe forms of infertility, as well as raising the tantalizing prospect of same-sex couples being able to have a biological child together in the future.
Yes! Scientific breakthrough with 2 male parents. What are we all talking about? What do you think?
I think if we have to depend on 2 male parents for the survival of our species, we're screwed. We are never we're done as a race.
Not okay, but not dependent on it, Paul. But another option is fantastic.
Who's going to carry the baby?
A surrogate.
Man?
Woman.
Oh, okay, then that's fine.
But then it's okay. But what, you don't think that you can make it through a 9-month pregnancy?
I mean, I've already been 9 months pregnant.
What?
Do you know what? When I was severely overweight, I was 9 months pregnant.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I don't want to do that again. That's horrible. I actually, and honest to God, as I was reading about this, this is really interesting. I think that the fact that we could do this could change a lot of people's lives. Because if you look at our history, we've always depended upon either a surrogate to have children. I have 3 children myself. I have 3 children and 2 grandchildren, and all my kids are adopted. But I know that if I'd had the possibility to maybe have a child of my own, it's something I would have pursued. But I think in our community, it costs so much money.
So much money.
To be able to even adopt or to find a surrogate and then go through that process. And it's very emotional. There's a lot of feelings attached. I can't imagine being a woman and carrying that baby and then having to give it up, which I know most people don't ask that. But I think this could revolutionize or at least change the way we perceive how families are in our community, and I think it's actually a really incredible thing.
It really is.
I just don't want to have 8 pups at a time. That's a whole lot. That would be a whole lot.
That would be a whole lot of babies, right? Oh God! But the possibilities give us hope. I mean, again, I also know that people like Tucker Carlson and Ron DeSantis seeing a story like this are like, their brains are exploding. Just the utter possibility of 2 men being able to make a baby without, wouldn't just freak him out. It'd be like the end of the world.
Which might be good.
Which might be good.
Might be the aneurysm we've been waiting for.
I mean, you never know. You never know.
Did I say that? Well, sorry.
You did say that. And this will go on forever.
Great.
Like, there's no way to erase this. The internet is forever.
Oh, well, that's all right.
Like, forever. Streaming is forever.
I've said worse.
I know you have. Well, listen, I love these advances in technology.
It's incredible.
It's the possibilities are just wonderful. Like you said, it takes so much money to give a child in need a home.
Absolutely.
They make it so difficult for folks in our community to
And there's
have
so many
children.
kids that need children.
And
There's so many kids that need
homes.
parents. There's so many, all 3 of my kids. I mean, it's just when I look back on it and I think about it now, I'm so grateful I adopted. But there's still, I'm the last guy in my family to carry on the family name. And that was it. So it dies with me. And it would have been kind of cool to be able to, well, maybe, I don't know. I mean, who wants to carry on this craziness? But it would have been, no, seriously, it would have been really cool to carry on the family name and that aspect where I could, could keep that line moving.
Yeah, no, and the possibility that you could have done that with someone you love.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, come on, there was a study that came out a couple of weeks back about how children of LGBTQ plus parents are more adjusted. They're better they're well-rounded. They have less emotional issues, which is crazy. You would, think far right thinks completely the opposite, that we're there grooming children at every turn. And instead, we're making these kids a good part of society, a good citizens of this earth from the beginning.
And I love that you just touched on that because all 3 of my kids are heterosexual, right? They were
sorry.
No, it's okay. They were young enough. I'm super happy they are. I love them for who they are. And it's interesting because you hear so much in people talking about we're grooming or we're changing. If that was the factor, I don't think you would see all these gay couples that have kids, and some have gay kids. Yeah. Some have straight kids. It has nothing to do with that.
Well, how about us? We've been groomed to be straight since inception.
Yeah.
Okay, and we still ended up being
came out as we are.
Man-loving man here, and me, I'm all about the V, baby. Next. Wow. Next, another day, another amazing TikTok from Rosie O'Donnell. You guys know I love her. I miss her. The funny lady recently shared an email she received from Dan Dolan, editor-in-chief of the highly esteemed National Enquirer, about The View, which she co-hosted from 2006 to 2007 and again from 2014 to 2015. While it's unclear exactly what Dolan's letter says, it appears he's asking about rumors that Rosie is considering a return to the hit daytime talk show, but only if current co-host Whoopi Goldberg agrees to step aside. The TikTok video, however, confirmed that the news is not true. Rosie says, quote, nothing in it is true, end quote.
I would love this.
I went to see Megan Mullally and her husband's band at the, I think, Cafe Carlisle, and I was meeting Ali Sheedy there. And so she wasn't there yet. So I get out of my limo and I'm walking into the venue. I see another SUV pull up and I thought to myself, oh, I wonder who that is. And I go into the venue and I turn around and who's standing right next to me? Whoopi Goldberg. Well, I go, hi, you know, she's like, oh, hey, how you do? She was so nice, right? So kind of effusive. Then the maitre d' came over and said, oh, Miss Goldberg, Miss O'Donnell, table for two. Come over this way. I'm like, no, we're not sitting together. And Whoopi said, would it be that bad? That's what she said. And I was like, nah, I'm meeting someone. I'm sure you are too. And good to see you, you know, but it was like that awkward, horrible. Yeah.
Well, look, you said she was as mean to you as anyone had ever been.
She was mean to me on live TV. When people say, well, what happened? I say, go back and watch them. It's not like a mystery. Watch the way it went down. And I don't need to say anything. I mean, did it hurt my feelings? Tremendously. It was trippy to me, but I knew I had to leave. So I was like, I got to get out of here. I can't do this. I'm not fighting with Whoopi Goldberg. I have no desire to fight with her.
See, in my story, they kind of hooked up in the past, and that's why they don't like each other now. That's all I'm saying. All right. Rosie O'Donnell talks about her encounter with Whoopi Goldberg. I miss Rosie. What are we all talking about? What do you think about the video?
You know, I love them both, right? For totally different reasons. I remember being a kid watching like Whoopi Goldberg and Jumping Jack Flash. That was the first movie I saw her in.
Oh my God! Wow,
and
that's
she does that whole line about like blowing goldfish down by the pier when she's like ripping into the cop. But I love Rosie O'Donnell. I remember grew up with her as well, right? And I think
it's like we all knew Rosie was gay, but she wasn't out. So I would just like
A League of Their Own with Madonna. I mean, like one of my all-time favorite movies. Absolutely.
God, you are so gay.
Yeah, a little bit.
But I mean, would it be so bad if Rosie would go back to The View? I mean, look, we have, Anna Navarro, who I love, and she's like always here in South Florida. She partially lives down here, and we adore her. And Rosie's great. I think it would be awesome if Rosie would go back. But I think it would probably be a lot too many personalities, too many hotheads, too many big personalities.
I don't know. I think we're given opportunities in life to grow, right? And we either take those opportunities or we don't. If you're doing something you love, and I think they're both incredible women who are incredible hosts, that if you have an opportunity to maybe help show an audience what growth looks like and that you can get past differences, I think that's a beautiful thing. So I think they could turn it into something that's actually quite incredible if they decided they wanted to.
That's true. That's very true. And then how awesome would that be?
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
Again, because they're both like so talented and so amazing at what they do. Okay, look out for that. Who knows, right? I mean, Rosie, what else are you doing, Rosie? A podcast or something like that? Come on.
You heard it here first. When they get together, you heard it here first, right?
You heard it here first, you see? Next, Eureka. You guys know Eureka. She came out as a trans woman in December, telling her fans, quote, I know who I am without question, end quote. The Drag Race All-Stars 6 finalist said that she was inspired to reveal her gender identity after meeting inspirational trans women while filming HBO's We're Here. 3 months on, and Eureka has revealed that their gender marker has been legally changed, and she will now officially be known by that name in her day-to-day life. Posting on Instagram, the star wrote, quote, Happy International Women's Day, in the eyes of God and now the law, I am a woman, end quote. Her fans and fellow Drag Race stars flocked to the comment section to share their love for Eureka and celebrated her transitional journey. Eureka has had quite a few years. You got this, Eureka. What are we all talking about? What do you think? Congratulations. How wonderful is that?
Yeah, I think it's amazing. Like, I like her. I love, so this is something that I don't talk about. I love RuPaul. Have since I was like, what, 21 years old.
I've never heard you say that out loud.
In a
like,
bar.
I actually got you in bed because you were one of the few gays that never mentions RuPaul. And now we're here and you're mentioning RuPaul.
I was like 21 and Supermodel came out, and I was sitting in a bar in West Hollywood, California, and I was like, oh my, and I fell in love. But I think RuPaul is one of those people that literally we walk on his back, her back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He has done more for our community than most people will ever care to admit. And good for Eureka. Like the fact that's not an easy thing to come out and do. I cannot imagine as a gay man, I can't imagine feeling like it was hard enough being gay, right? And then you come out and you're like, you can't figure out what identity you are. And then to finally figure it out and come out and to do it, a lot of people are still gonna, within every community, a lot of people I think are gonna give you a hard time about it. So congratulations to her. That's freaking amazing. And
isn't that messed up?
That takes a lot of courage.
It does take a lot of courage. And, you know, on We're Here, they do these, have you seen We're Here on HBO?
Yeah, no, I've not seen that.
Oh, you've got to see it. Okay. They go to these different little towns, right, where LGBTQ is not welcomed. And it's much harder for these for these people to like be their true authentic self. And then, so Eureka and Shangela, and somebody else that I can't remember. Side piece, who is it?
Bob the Drag Queen.
And Bob the Drag Queen. All three go to these little towns, you know, and these towns that you wouldn't expect to have a drag show be performed. Okay. And they make, you know, they transform these people that are maybe on the fence or maybe haven't been able to fully get to where they should, and they make them into incredible performers. And it's just a beautiful thing. So for her to be seeing that, right, and to see people's journey while being a non-binary person dressing up as drag, and then finally saying, no, wait a minute, this is who I really am. I'm a woman and I'm going to come out and do it. And all these stories are supporting and solidifying what I've been feeling forever. You know, I mean, it's beautiful.
It's got to be incredible.
It's got to be incredible. And let me ask, side piece, didn't Eureka go to treatment?
Yes, recovery.
And she's in treatment.
Even better.
I mean, like, I don't know how well that's going, and I'm hoping it's going well. And as people in recovery, I hope you're sober. Okay? Absolutely. Please be sober before going through such a, you know, huge transition in your life. And, you know, you are more supported than you know, right? And keep on trucking.
Absolutely.
Keep on trucking. Keep on trucking. Where the hell did that come from? I just became like an old white man. Like
1976, yeah.
Keep on trucking! Next, Melissa McCarthy has become the latest celebrity to voice anger against Tennessee's drag ban. Melissa posted a series of characters in drag on social media with the quote, "You've been entertained by drag your whole life. Don't pretend it is a problem now," end quote. The characters include Robin Williams as Mrs. Doubtfire, Tony Curtis and Jack Lemmon as Daphne and Josephine, respectively, in Some Like It Hot, Monty Python's John Cleese, Jamie Farr as Maxwell Klinger in the TV show MASH, Dustin Hoffman in Tootsie, and even cartoon icon Bugs Bunny. Celebrities stand up for our community. What are we all talking about? What do you think?
You know, this is interesting because I very much have this perception that I think whenever we want to, it's almost like on RuPaul when I can't think of the queen that said it. Look over there.
Oh yeah.
Like when we want to divert something, we will focus on one group, right? And I think that's what's happening right now in our community with the drag queens. But drag's been around since TV began, since music. I mean, like if you go back to Shakespeare, right?
If you want to go to Renaissance times, yes,
like,
of course.
They didn't even women weren't allowed to be on stage. Men did the women's parts, right? So I think we're in a time and a place right now where people are trying to do that. Look over there because they don't want to focus on what the real issue is, right? And unfortunately, our community seems to get targeted more than any other community in the world, right? But I think the bans that we're putting in place, they're nothing but harmful. You know, you don't hear about people coming in. You don't hear about drag queens going in and shooting up schools and shooting up spring break and doing all the horrible things that are going on. And the fact that that's where we're putting our focus on as a nation, it makes me really sad because it's really misplaced and misguided.
Completely misplaced and misguided. And that's why we need these breeder voices. Okay, we need these heteros. We need the straight people to stand up. You know, I did a post the other day about. You saw my post, and it was just basically screaming out to the straight people, just telling straight people like, hey, if you've ever loved our girls, enjoyed the entertainment that our girls give you, if you ever had a bachelorette party or a birthday party or anything that you celebrated at a drag show, stand up, let your voice be heard, because we need the straight allies. We need the celebrities to come out and say, this is not cool. This is not what it's about. We need to support our LGBTQ plus, especially our drag queens.
And I think a lot of people miss that it's a performance. It's an art. It's not even specifically related to gender or sexuality. It's an actual art.
It's a craft.
Art. It would be us like saying, all right, we're going to ban all ballerinas. Because that tutu is too much.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, there's no more rock concerts because you know what, guys with long hair. Like, it's the insanity of when you look at it, what the insanity is behind it, it's mind-boggling how we can be so misplaced and misguided as a society, and just targeting one group of people that are just trying to make us laugh and have a really great time. Like, how is that ever bad? Who hates Robin Williams? No one.
No one.
Miss Doubtfire was like one of the biggest movies ever.
Yeah. Next, LGBTQ plus ally and hot dad of the month, Pedro Pascal, has no time for people who question whether queer storylines belong to the Last of Us show. TMZ recently spotted the actor in West Hollywood, of course he was in WeHo, and attempted to grill him about the show's LGBTQ plus storylines. The camera person repeatedly asked Pedro about the importance of LGBTQ plus characters being featured on TV shows, to which he replied, quote, "I think you're asking the question because you know why it's so important. You should know why," end quote. On Twitter, fans applauded Pedro Pascal for handling the situation with grace, calling him iconic and kind. Pascal, whose sister is trans and who has played queer on both HBO's Game of Thrones and MTV's late 90s soap opera Undressed, has made his support of the LGBTQ plus community well known. Daddy Pedro gets more and more lovable each day. What are we all talking about? I love him.
Well, okay, first off, he's just a tall, glass of water. A cold glass of, that man is so beautiful.
Listen, I think we have finally found a man that makes both women and men both melt. Even gay women and men melt.
I didn't know he was a Mandalorian, and that's like one of my favorite shows. Like when it first came, I'm a Star Wars junkie. I'm a little nerdy in some ways. So,
my dog's names are what?
Are Luke and Padme. Yeah, Luke and Padme, and then we have Leia now. We have Leia in the mix. So
yeah. So it's all Star Wars.
So, but yeah, like I mean, I remember seeing him. I remember like looking and thinking, oh my god, like this. But I think the fact that I love when we have allies in the straight community that will stand up and fight for us, and I think he is such a good example of that because he's got that masculine thing going on, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he's also got that kind, loving side, and that's important. It's important for us to have people that will support us and speak up, and not have those judgments. Yeah, he's a beautiful man.
It's so important.
All around.
He's adorable. And I loved him even from Narcos and from like all the other stuff that he does. And for The Mandalorian, what I had read was that he made it a point to say, yeah, we need more LGBTQ plus storylines. Make sure that they're in this. You know, it's important.
And he's doing Boba Fett too. He's doing both of them. He's doing Boba Fett and Mandalorian now. So it's like double shows.
Pedro, keep it coming. We want it all. We're taking it all.
Please
we are taking it all.
Please.
Give it to us. Next, please. Next, Queen of Drag RuPaul stepped in front of an American flag and into the arena weeks after Tennessee instituted a near total ban on drag performances. In a 1-minute video posted to Instagram, she says, quote, "They think our love, our light, our laughter, our joy are signs of weakness. They're wrong, because that is our strength. Drag queens are the Marines of the queer movement," end quote. While RuPaul doesn't name who they are, she does urge her followers to mobilize and fight them at the ballot box.
Hey, look over there. A classic distraction technique. Distracting us away from the real issues that they were voted into office to focus on. Jobs, healthcare, keeping our children safe from harm at their own school. But we know that bullies are incompetent at solving real issues. They look for easy targets so they can give the impression of being effective. They think our love, our light, our laughter, and our joy are signs of weakness. But they're wrong, because that is our strength. Drag queens are the Marines of the queer movement. Don't get it twisted and don't be distracted. Register to vote so we can get these stunt queens out of office and put some smart people with real solutions into government. And by the way, a social media post has never been as powerful as a registered vote.
Yes. Finally, RuPaul speaks out about drag queens. What are we all talking about? You were just talking about this, right?
I was just talking about it. You know, I think one of the things that our community misses, and I wish there was a stronger backing in this. Unfortunately, with Santos, we will never have that. But, you know, like Stonewall happened because a drag queen got tired of being
marginalized, picked on, stepped on.
And it literally took a drag queen to start this entire movement.
Yeah.
I think that, again, I think that this ban is insane, and I think that we as a community, we have to support every member of our community. We can't pick and choose the ones we want to support. Yeah. Even if we have a personal bias towards something, we can't do that, because our movement, our ability for you and I to sit here and have this show, you know, I remember in the early 90s, right? Like it wasn't okay. Like it was still against the law to be gay. Or to be lesbian, or to do half the stuff, even do drag, and we're going backwards in time in a way that's very scary at a very alarming rate.
Yeah.
But I love that RuPaul has been able to be that person that's not only risen up, but has just lifted thousands and tens of thousands of people with him
in the process
of helping others. I mean, like
and daily, but. And I don't want to be like an asshole about it, but like where has this video been? Like for weeks, I've been like, why isn't RuPaul saying something?
Yeah.
You know, because yes, he is the reason why so many were lifted. And, you know, a drag show was something that you had to drive somewhere to see, or it was once a month. Now here in South Florida, you can go to a drag show every day of the week. Yeah. It really is. You know, 3 times on Saturday and Sunday. So, and that is all from what stems from what RuPaul started. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like, it's, you know what, who the hell am I to ask him to do more?
Yeah.
He's done a lot, and he keeps on doing it by just breathing and this video and stuff like that. We're being attacked, Paul. My girls are being attacked, okay? And like I said, I had made that post about supporting our drag queens, and all the drag queens said, oh my God, Faye, thank you, we love you, blah, blah, blah. Not one of my straight friends went on there and said, you're right, I need to repost this, I need to yell and scream. Not one. I have over 1,700 friends on there. Not one said anything like that on my own personal page. And I was just blown away by that, you know. We need more of this. We need it from everyone, you know. And RuPaul's voice is loud and strong and listened to.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
How many Emmys?
Money talks.
Yeah, I mean, like how many Emmys?
Money talks, you know, like how many? I mean, and so, you know, does he need to do more? I mean, it's not like his job to do that, but me as someone that has been looking up to him since, you know, since back in the 90s, I look up to him, and I just feel that people would listen to him over others.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, that if he said drag queens unite, every freaking drag queen will be outside their door in their highest heels, okay, protesting tomorrow if he said that.
It'd be like Wonder Twins. Remember the older one? Remember the Wonder Twins? Wonder Twins unite.
Activate.
Yeah.
Form of, I don't know.
Ice-shaped drag queens.
You know, something like that. But I do appreciate the video, RuPaul, and I hope there's more to come with that. And it's true, you know, social media is so powerful, but it's not as powerful as the power that you have in your hands when you are in front of that ballot box making your decisions, okay, and getting those people that want us erased out of office. Plain and simple. But thank you, Ru. All right. Finally, another day brings another peek into the past of embattled New York Congressman George Santos. The website Gothamist obtained several recordings dated between 2014 and 2017 featuring Santos in housing court hearings related to 3 separate evictions from New York apartments during this period. The low-quality audio recordings provide glimpses into Santos's life before he first ran for office in 2020, and provides new insights for understanding the extent to which he has exaggerated or falsified significant aspects of his life. In the clip, Santos requests to be able to re-enter the apartment to recover the clothes he had left there and feed his fish. Yes, feed his fish. In a ridiculous yet not surprising twist, Santos' former roommate claims this plea was based on a lie. They didn't have a fish. Okay? Watch this video.
He appeared at his bail hearing, said he was a family friend to the Kings County Superior Court Judge O'Donnell. This is all recorded on audio, which we'll play now.
Present in the courtroom is George Anthony DeVolder. He is a family friend of Mr. Trelhaz. Mr. DeVolder lives in New York. I've spoken to him multiple times over the last couple of weeks. This is the second time that he's flown out here to assist Mr. Trelha. He has arranged an extended Airbnb for Mr. Trelha to stay at during the pendency of this case.
So what's the connection between this gentleman and your client?
They're family friends.
Family friends.
Yes, and he has been helping Mr. Trelha to arrange a place to stay here in Seattle while his case is pending.
The state hasn't shown me any evidence at this point that he is connected to anyone else in terms of running this scheme. Is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Let me hear from his friend briefly. All right, sir, tell me your name. Okay, so how do you know this man?
We're family friends. Our parents know each other from Brazil. We've known each other for a few years. Lost touch. Got back into touch back in September last year in Orlando when I was relocated from New York for work into the Orlando area.
And so what do you do for work?
I'm an aspiring politician and I work for Goldman Sachs.
You work for Goldman Sachs in New York?
Yep.
Okay. And so you've rented a room or something for him?
I'm just pending your decision here so I can finalize a long extended stay apartment through Airbnb or whatever website it is. Right now I'm in the
That's just where I draw the line. That's where I draw the line. What are we all talking about? Compulsive liar from like birth? Mr. Santos? I used the Mr. very lightly.
Loosely.
I mean, very loosely. So this guy has basically is a compulsive liar. He's lied about everything. He's lied his resume. He's lied about the education that he's gotten. One of my favorites that is probably the sleaziest. He had said once that his mom had died on 9/11, right? And then later on, he says, no, but not on the 9/11, just on 9/11.
9/11.
And now they're just pulling up all these lies of his past. And so another lie that he decided to say was that he needed to get into a house that they were evicted from because they needed to feed the fish. That's where I draw the line. Okay, that's where I draw the line. When now you're gonna put living things in it. Oh no, but he also, you'll love this one. He had put together like a GoFund kind of deal, right? To save this dog, and the dog never existed. They were never gonna help the dog. They just basically pocketed the money. That is the kind of guy that he is.
Okay, yeah, that's animals. That's where you draw the line.
That's where you draw the line, completely.
No, this is my take on this. He's just not a very good person. And that's not even that you're a very good person. We have a responsibility, right? Especially if we're going to go into to serve others within politics. Our government, right? We're going to go into politics because our sole responsibility in any role is to obviously serve others. But I think in that role, you're supposed to be serving your community. He obviously sounds like a pathological liar. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people in the world that get ahead by doing that. But I think his past is going to catch up to him eventually. And I don't think it's something that, it doesn't sound like it's something that's going to be pleasant for him. There's an expression that the truth is always out there, and I believe that. And you can only carry a lie so long. You can only carry a lie so long, and I think he's starting to see the consequence of his actions.
And in this day, with social media, with cameras everywhere,
you don't agree with anything
anymore. It just doesn't even work that way. They're going to come out with a recording that you can hardly hear, but they're like, that's you though. We know it's you, okay? And there is no fish, so you're lying. Like everything is going to come out.
Poor fish.
That poor fish, right?
Poor fish.
I honestly believe. This is just my opinion. I can only speak for this lesbian right here. I think he's gay. I think he's in the closet, and I think that he's got this self-loathing thing where he just can't get past it.
Didn't he say he was gay, and then he says he's straight, and then he did drag, and I was looking up, isn't he got like this?
I swear, I think it was like last month or 2 months ago when Thunderpuss was in town. Remember? Yeah. I swear I saw him there.
Oh, really?
It looked like him. I mean, it probably wasn't him, but it looked like him. I should have taken a picture.
We should have.
I mean, and he had like a harness on and stuff.
Okay, no comment.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. All right, so Paul, thank you for being in bed with us today. Tell me, what do you have coming up? Anything fun that I know that you're working Pride. You're working Miami Beach Pride next month. Yeah. Oh my goodness, are you excited about that?
I'm super excited. So I get to work on the stage again this year for Miami Beach Pride. I'm doing the community stage. So if you're out, come see me at the community stage. We've got I believe 40 incredible acts, and they're all local talent, which I'm super excited about. Every person I've talked to so far has been amazing. But it's that's one of the that's actually one of the highlights I'm looking forward to. I love prides, and I love getting able to hopefully give back to our community as much as it's given to me.
And you have, and you do. And, Paul is just one of those incredible people that, he is so talented and so multifaceted, but you give him a task and he will get it done, okay? He will get it done at all costs, no matter who he's got to jump over, hurt, or maybe maim on the way, all right? It will be done, from Part of the Americas, we worked together. At Gay Ocho, we were there together also. And so these folks know that, okay, we need somebody that's going to get the job done, hire Paul. He will make sure that everybody will be in place a minute before they need to. I mean, you almost hit me with the microphone, that part of it. Go up now, let's go. You have 10 seconds. But they're not done dancing. Be ready. Know what you're gonna say. I'm like, damn it, I never know what I'm gonna say. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? But so in behalf of our community, I say thank you.
No, thank you.
For all you do. Stay sober, because you're crazy otherwise.
No, we got this.
We got this. Wow, I love you, Paul. Make sure that you follow Paul on all social media. He's always got something fun going on to do. There's always so much going on in our community, and Paul seems to always be right in smack dab in the middle of it. Is that by coincidence? I don't think so. It's what happens when you get sober and you have fun.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right? Isn't that what happens? Paul, thank you so much for being in bed with me, puppy. I love you, my darling. Adorable, right? So also this Saturday, April 1st, is the annual Diversity Honors Award. The goal is to recognize those who are transforming lives by living authentically and advancing inclusivity. This year, the foundation will honor Commissioner Nicole M. Ramirez with the prestigious Harvey Milk Medal, Carol Moran with the from the Pride Center at Equality Park, Alan Schubert Award, and Stoli Group's Global CEO Damian McKinney with the 2023 Global Business Leadership Award. Additional honorees for this year's event include Florida State Senator Chevron Sheb Jones. I love Sheb, he's amazing. Drag TV star and entrepreneur Latrice Royale. I love you, girl, yes!
Absolutely.
South Florida Symphony's Orchestra's president and CEO Jacqueline Lorber, and music director Sabrina Maria Alfonso. And your favorite right here, the Bears of South Florida will also be recognized. We will see you all there at Diversity Honors on April 1st. Get your tickets today. What am I gonna wear? So I want to thank Paul for getting up early for the FayWhat show, because I know that it's hard for gay boys to wake up this early. I don't know why. His social media is Paul is here and now.
Paul Rhodes Digital PR Music.
Also, okay, so make sure you follow him on both that. Make sure you follow him everywhere. You should get an OnlyFans page. Do you have one?
No, but Miguel and I were talking about maybe starting one.
You heard it here first.
There you go. We'll let you know.
Okay, and it's going to be, okay, you heard it here first. Maybe there'll be a little OnlyFans. Will I get a free subscription?
Sure.
I'll pay for it.
You're not going to watch it, though.
Why? I want to watch it. I got popcorn ready and everything, right? Thank you, Paul, for being in bed with me. I know how hard it is for boys to get up early, because gay boys usually sleep late.
Love it.
Goodbye. Take your nap right there. The FayWhat Show is part of one of the largest LGBTQ plus media companies in America. Hotspots Magazine has been documenting the LGBTQ plus experience for 38 years. And Happening Out Television Network has been bringing you daily LGBTQ plus news, talk shows, and more for 4 years. In the same model of PBS and NPR, we are a nonprofit 501c3 organization whose mission is to educate and serve the LGBTQ plus community. So did you know that Happening Out Television Network studios are located at Sunshine Cathedral Square, which also houses Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church right here in Fort Lauderdale. We broadcast our Sunday service every week at 10:30 a.m.
I'm Michael Reardon, the Director of Marketing for Compass Community Center, and Sunshine Cathedral is my queer church.
Ah, I love that girl. That's Michael from Compass. We'll be seeing them at the end of the month. I can't wait. I love them. At the FayWhat Show, we want to introduce you to interesting people like Michael over at Compass that are super important to our LGBTQ plus community. Today is no different. Today's interview is with the one, the only, Miss Cathy Renna from the National Taskforce. I am so excited about my interview this morning. I mean, this chick is like, she just slays. She's an incredible human being. I call her a friend, and she does so much for our community. Let's just get started, all right? So you can love her just as much as I do, all right? She is a communications industry veteran. Her name is Cathy Renna. She has worked with groups like GLAAD, Move On, and the American Lung Association, and now she's the communications director for the National LGBTQ Taskforce, baby, where they just recently finished up their 30th anniversary winter party festival, and she's still wearing the shirt. Welcome to the FayWhat Show, Cathy Renna.
Thank you.
How are you, Mama?
Just so sweet.
You know that you are one of my favorite people, like in the universe.
Well, I love that.
Tell me that you've cleaned that shirt since winter party.
Actually, I did not wear this during the event because anything I wore during the event was disgusting and sweaty and went in the garbage. Like seriously, because
was it that bad?
It was super hot. And
yeah, like you guys, like it was crazy. So the winter party was a couple of weeks ago, folks. And if you weren't down here, you missed out. Make sure you get your tickets for next year. You know, what is it? A couple thousand gay boys on the beach having a great time for that last party.
More than a couple.
What do you think? 4?
There had to be at least 5,000 people. Wow. Yeah, it was nuts. Wow. Yeah, I've done big events, but it was my first one too.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah, because fun. You got on right before the world ended, so you weren't able to see it in person. Winterfest.
Lockdown. I mean, I've always worked with the task force my whole career, but I love them, and so when. You know, I was working with them on Queer the Census. We were working on some of the post-2020 COVID sort of crisis communications. And then, you know, it was just, Kiera took over. And who does not want to be Kiera Johnson's communications director?
Oh my God, hello,
She's the bomb. Yeah, she is so great. And she has taken us into the next 50 years because we're like, this is a big year.
It's a huge year.
50th anniversary.
It's a huge year. Well, we got to talk about that a little bit. You know, another thing that I'm glad about that you're here with us for is that, you know, it's Women's History Month, you know, and I'm a big fan of all you do. And how important are the women on which the shoulders that we stand on? How important is it to spotlight them, not just only on Women's History Month, Cathy?
I mean, it's important, I think, because there are tons of women who just, you know, we don't know their stories because they got lost.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, doing the 50th anniversary work has been really fun because I've been able to talk to some of these women. We had Ginny Apuzzo was the task force executive director in the early 80s, like when AIDS was just like, it was a nightmare. People were dying. There was no funding. And she lives in Fort Lauderdale and she's in her 80s. And, you know, people know who Harvey Milk is.
Yes. But they don't know who she is.
But they don't know who she is. And she was our first woman executive director.
Wow.
And I had her actually join the staff for a Zoom call. And to see these younger activists, some who were not even born in 1982 to 1985, it was really interesting to have them hear from her because the things she talked about were not that different from some of the challenges we're still dealing with.
Isn't that crazy?
You know? Yeah. No,
Isn't that crazy?
It was the same when I did the Stonewall 50 stuff. Like, you know, some of the women who get lost, you know, the stories that get lost in
so
history.
Many.
Particularly trans women.
Yes.
You know,
You're absolutely
let's be
right.
real. I mean, we finally, I think, you know, in 2019, Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera kind of got their flowers like in a huge way, in a national way for the whole community, which I don't think had really happened before. So
incredible.
Yeah.
You've got such an incredible team over there at LGBTQ plus at the National LGBTQ Taskforce. How's my future ex-wife, Myra?
I see. Yeah, Marita, as I like to call Marita, my boss, my supervisor. She's great. We just had Creating Change, which was awesome. And we hadn't been in person in several years, so it was intense. We had over 3,000 people.
Incredible.
And it's, you know, it is a lot it's a family reunion, you know, and like most family reunions, you know, there might be a few spats.
Of
but
course.
Like, you know, it's not Creating Change without that. And that was her first one as deputy executive director. So
what a big one.
A big one. And she's also like, I mean, you know, her job is really about building the infrastructure of the organization, especially coming out of COVID. So she's been working to bring in staff. So like our new field director, Ray Liner, who's been actually left Winter Party early to go do work in Tampa and with other Florida partners, because we're doing a lot of work in Florida.
You really are.
And because
you've got to, because we're a mess. We're just like a complete mess, Cathy. Cathy, give me 1 second. Side piece, my teleprompter went off. Can you help me real quick? Let's talk about creating change. I lived in San Francisco for a couple of years, right? And the Tenderloin was a place that I didn't go to. You didn't go there at night. It was just not safe for women, for men, for anybody. And we recently did a story about 3 incredible trans women who have started a trans district.
Yes, that's where the conference was.
Shut up!
Yeah, we were at the Hilton Union Square. So it was awesome. You'd be walking through the hotel and you'd look outside and you see these big signs on the street signs that said trans district with the trans flag.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was happy because I used to go to San Francisco a ton when I worked for GLAAD. We had an office there. And yes, to walk from Union Square to the Castro through the Tenderloin was a little scary, you know? And so it's really nice to see that part of the city is being not just revitalized, but finally honored for the folks who were there, been there for, decades, struggling and not getting the support they needed, and now starting to get some of that support. It's actually really cool.
I thought I was going to tell you some news that you didn't know. Yeah, right. Come on, get over on Cathy. I just thought that was such an incredible story when we did it here at the FayWhat show, because it's like 3 trans women doing, you're not going to give us our own space? Don't worry about it.
Take it.
We'll get our own space on our own.
Make it. Yep.
We're going to take it and make it. Side piece, my screen is still not working, sir. I'm sorry. Let's talk about the incredible Miss Kira Johnson, right? So, God, man, I love that woman, her spirit. And the reason I also had mentioned Myra is because, just the spirit of your team as a whole, everybody that you have brought in is integral in every little motion that you guys do. So I saw Kira on CNN.
Ah, yes. In the middle of everything, I'm like, Kira, can you go on CNN, please?
And I'm like, where did she find the time to go on CNN?
She's like, I'm trying to do 20 million things, and all right, fine.
But she had to be, and nobody else could have answered those questions like that.
It's going.
That it wasn't Kira.
Yeah, no, it's really was interesting to go from creating change to Winter Party, because the intensity of seeing each other after not seeing each other for several years for a lot of folks, particularly trans, non-binary, and communities of color, who'd been through so much trauma since 2020.
So much.
It was so exciting to see each other, and then there was that recognition of why we hadn't seen each other, and it was a lot. It was really, really interesting and hard. And I think we just people do not understand just how much we're under attack. I mean, when we talk about the 50th, we're founded in 1973, and I keep saying 2023 is starting to feel more like 1973 all the time. Roe v. Wade gets overturned, right? That was 73 was the year past. We're seeing a level of attack on trans people at the state level, and we're here, and we're doing things like Winter Party because stuff starts in Florida and then gets shopped out. It becomes sort of like a testing ground for this stuff. And so the anti-trans bills, taking away trans-friendly health care, erasing us from school curriculum, and not just queer people. We're talking about, let's take out critical race theory. Let's
Black history. Let's take those out too.
It's really going to be an incredibly challenging couple of years, because it's this year, hundreds of bills, and we're going into a presidential election cycle. So it's going to be super heated, and that's why, when we had people say, why are you in Florida? Why are you because we're here. You want to start boycotting hotels and hospitality? Who works there? We do. Our people do. All our people, queer people, people of color, and so, immigrants, it's so that's why we're here. And we leave a lot behind, which is really, really, truly important. So
there's so much work. I was talking about, on my first year of the FayWhat show, you were kind enough to be on, and that was during that crazy time. So it was via Zoom kind of deal. The virtual world. And my very first guest on the FayWhat show was Kira and Myra. And we both cried there just because of what the future was holding. And here we are a year and a half later, and she's on CNN having to explain to people that drag queens don't kill children, that guns kill children.
Correct.
Simple enough. Yeah, well, explain the will to me. Like, how is it that, how did we get here?
Well, I think we got here because we saw this country just get turned upside down by Trump. I mean, it was happening before, but that I always say that he created a permissible climate of hate.
Yes.
And
He
that
opened that door.
really opened that door and kind of allowed this sort of like ugly underbelly that's always been there, but it empowered them.
Yeah.
You know, there's a difference between being like a marginalized, far right group of folks who are, transphobes
Racist and fascist.
racist and fascist and
but are hiding it. Right?
I keep thinking about my dad because he grew up as a teenager under Mussolini in Italy, and if he was here seeing what's happening, he would be saying, I know what this feels like. This feels very similar, right? So it has given these folks permission, and they are like, I'm not joking, like these are the same talking points from 1973, just you have to take out the word gay and you put in the word trans. Grooming, a danger to children, parents' rights, like all of that is, it's old, but it's fear.
Yeah.
It's fear and it's ignorance, and it works. And that's why they keep using it and doing it. And they're doing it with part of our community that even our own queer family sometimes not so much gets.
Yeah.
Trans issues. Yeah. Certainly talking about kids is still a challenge, and as somebody who's worked with trans kids forever, like all these kids that are out there speaking, and I met them when they were 4 and 5, and now Jazz Jennings is at Harvard.
Yes, yes, she is.
And now all the gender cool kids are like heading off to college, and and I have a 17-year-old who identifies as bi, and who has a ton of friends who are trans, queer identified, gender fluid, and they don't understand how we could have made all this progress and now we're going backwards.
Gone backwards, but I mean, so extremely going backwards, Cathy. So, we got side piece. My teleprompter went off again. Roe v. Wade, our drag queens attacked. Okay. Our poor children that are non-voters are the most affected, right? Being dead named and not being able to be their true authentic self, not being able to have a safe space at school. Is marriage next?
Well, that people were celebrating the passage of the Respect for Marriage Act. Fine. But you realize that we're having to pass laws to protect rights that we've already won. Like, that is a bit like mind-boggling if you think about it. So, yeah, I mean, the Supreme Court is a scary, scary place for us right now.
Yeah.
You're looking at the decisions coming down between now and June around, all kinds of things. And, that's what I think this is what gives me some hope, right? I think both within our community and in the larger culture, people are starting to understand that, we're not these siloed groups. We're not like, I'm not, as we always say, like, I'm not a woman on Monday, a lesbian on Tuesday, a mom on Wednesday, Italian on Thursday, an immigrant, whatever.
You're all of those on Monday.
All of those things all of the time. That's why we have that. We actually have that, all of me all the time campaign. But that's what we are beginning to understand better, is the intersections, which helps us understand our commonalities, right? So when you start to see an organization that looks like the task force, because the task force looks like our community.
It does.
You go on a Zoom call with all our staff, and
it looks like the United Colors of Benetton.
But it should. Like, it's
that's how it should.
It's about, like, I don't know if I can say the F word. It's about fucking time.
Thank you.
I can't believe it's a news story in The Advocate that we have 3 or 4 organizations being led by Black queer people. Kelly Robinson from HRC and Kiera were on Jonathan Capart's show not too long ago. And I love Jonathan.
I love Jonathan.
We honored him.
You honored him last year, and he's an incredible man.
He's amazing.
He sat with us. He sat with us on the panel at the task force, and he was just phenomenal. He was just phenomenal.
And he interviewed them, and it was about all this crazy laws that are they're trying to pass. And at the end of it, he stopped the show and he said, "I just want everyone to take a moment and take a look at the fact that we have 2 Black women running 2 of our largest queer organizations." That's all.
That's it. Period.
Right.
Cathy, are we not mad enough? Are we not scared enough? Are we not organized enough?
There was a very interesting moment during Winter Party. We had a VIP reception, and Kiera spoke, and she was talking about all kinds of things. But one thing she said was, especially here in Florida, you've got, kids getting on buses to go to Tallahassee and protest. You've got parents standing up for their kids. And then there was a moment where she said to the crowd, and this was not in her written speech, she just ad-libbed, "Are you all doing that much? Are you doing as much as these kids?" And it was so interesting because, it's all the more privileged of us. And there was a moment of like silence. And yes, so my answer to that is we are not mad enough. And not just being mad, like being engaged. Like you don't have to be out in the streets every day. You don't have to go work for an organization. Volunteer, write a check, have a conversation with somebody. Like we can all be engaged in very simple everyday ways. No matter who we are, no matter what we do. You don't have to be wealthy, you don't have to have a gigantic amount of free time, but you can find ways to find a point of entry, to getting active because honestly, like, these are pretty dire times and we need everybody.
A couple of weeks back, the kids had a walkout on February 23rd or something. It was all over the country where people walked out. Well, all the kids who walked out here in South Florida all got in trouble. And it's like,
good trouble.
As an advocate, like I think to myself, like, man, like, I feel beat down sometimes. We do all these news stories about all these attack and all this hate to our community that sometimes it's like, like, do I have it in me to keep fighting? And then you see these kids that are broken down even before they're 18. I pray for them. I pray for those kids being misgendered. And I pray for those kids that are not allowed to get their gender affirming care. I pray for those kids I pray for the parents that have to see their kids struggle even more.
I mean, we talk to, families all the time. They basically, families in Texas, they move. There's a fantastic organization called Rainbow Railroad. They basically help refugees get out of countries where it is unsafe to be LGBTQ. Well, guess what? The calls coming from inside the house now. They're based in Canada and they're getting calls from places like Mississippi and Alabama and Florida and Texas. I mean, it's really just like there's a handful, literally like just like a half a dozen states that have not had anti-LGBTQ laws being introduced. Like even in New Jersey, I mean, don't think you're safe because you're in the Northeast or on a coastal steer in California, wherever you are. It's
nobody's safe.
And it's also because it's really at the local level. Like when we did work during the midterms, we had our field staff in Central Florida, in Lakeland. We knew pretty much that we were not going to be successful. But
you were in Trump country.
You have to be on the ground. You have to develop the relationships, and you have to think of this as a long game. This is, we are now looking at a completely stalled Congress. Like, I don't know what's going to happen in Washington. So our work legislatively and policy-wise needs to be at the state level and working and supporting and collaborating with the folks who are really, like, they are absolutely, like, on the ground. They're at ground zero for this stuff. And it's literally their lives, their kids' lives on the line.
24/7.
Yep.
Let's talk about something fun because I need to
we need fun too.
We need some kind of fun. This year's National LGBTQ Taskforce, it's 50th year.
I am older than the task force, but yes, the task force is 50.
It's the 50th year. No, I just thought about that. Holy crap.
50 years is a big deal.
That is a huge deal. Any surprises, anything that you can tell us about? I mean, it's monumental, 50 years.
It is. It's really quite amazing. I mean, I always joke that one of the most exciting, exhausting things I ever worked on in all these years is the 50th anniversary Stonewall. But the early 70s were huge. So the task force is celebrating 50 years. So is Lambda Legal. So is PFLAG National. So is CBST, the queer synagogue in New York City. Also Whitman Walker Clinic. Like, it was such an important time in our movement's history. And I think that's what we're hoping to really push out there to help people understand. I mean, we did a huge launch at Creating Change. We were able to celebrate 2 anniversaries at Winter Party. We have the gala, of course, in the fall. And then we might have some surprises up our sleeve. We do a collaborative event at the Stonewall Inn in June for Pride. with the Imperial Court. We do the Wall of Honor. And it's really, actually, it's a really moving, wonderful sort of way to honor, like you said, you know, the untold stories,
The untold
right?
stories,
and folks who
definitely.
really contributed to the community and the movement. But, you know, we might have a few other tricks up our sleeve.
Okay,
We're
because
having fun with
it takes me time to figure out what I'm going to wear, Kathy. You do understand.
Hey,
like
go
when they were like,
70s,
hey,
go
red,
70s,
white.
Go 70s.
70s.
Yeah, we're doing bell bottoms and.
Shut up. We are not. She wants me to show up in some crazy outfit. And I'll be like, I'm here. And with a big old afro, and I'll have like, you know, really cool
I
like,
don't,
outfits
let's not
and
even,
stuff.
like, Kira's so, she would be so there.
She would be all about it. I could see Kira in like the silver jumpsuit, right?
She will
With the-
slay, she will slay.
Right?
She will
No,
slay
but that
it,
girl
yeah.
will slay anything. See, I need time. That's why. Like, you know, a year before when it was red, white, and you, I was like, all right, I got this.
Yeah, that was awesome. We all wore red, white, or blue.
We
Yep,
all
yeah,
wore
yeah,
red,
yeah.
and it was
Yep.
just amazing, and I loved it. And you know, Athena Dion was a part of it, and you just had such incredible people. You know, every year you outdo yourselves, and that's a very difficult task to
Mm-hmm.
upkeep. So no pressure. But last year was the bomb. Last year was amazing. So.
Well, we got a lot of help this year. We got a lot of folks who really are excited and interested. So
Jeff and Garrett, all those people, that whole entire team of people. My God, all like.
I have to say that the Miami events, like I'd never been to Winter Party, and I've worked on big Pride events. And the volunteers, there are literally hundreds. It is so organized. It is like it's such a well-oiled machine there. They've got it, and they're lovely, and they're having such a good time.
And they're having a great time.
And they know why they're there.
They know the
They're not
purpose.
just there, right? I mean, they say like, you know, give back. You know, work hard, play hard, give back. It is. There are very few. There are only like a handful of these big sort of circuit parties that are, you know, that are fundraisers for organizations, and so they get it. They get that they have a responsibility, and it really is. It was something. It was something. And the gala, same thing. You know, these people come back year after year after year, make this happen. We're not a big staff. We're 30 and change.
No, and you see the
know,
same
we're doing
faces every year
national
because
stuff.
they
Yep.
want to be there.
Yep.
They know how important it is for them to be there.
We had one of our house captains at Creating Change ran the Welcome Center at Winter Party, and I'm like, how are you still standing? Like, I'm barely able to like physically get through this weekend, and I'm only doing the PR part. Like, you know, although at the end they're cleaning up after the beach party. We all dug in and.
Oh, I bet. Again, Kathy said that every day, whatever shirt she had to wear for Winter Party had to be burned.
Gross.
Like you couldn't even get inside a hotel room or go in her suitcase or nothing.
Goodbye.
It was just
Disgusting.
nasty. Just full of gay boy sweat. You should have sold it.
I bought the staff one.
You should have sold that dirty shirt on eBay or something. I'm telling you, it would have made some money. Kathy, how do you juggle all of this? Okay, family, kids, pets, crazy Italian family, like all that kind of stuff.
Crazy Italian.
You know, does your partner give you hell? Like you were telling me that you like kissed your wife and be like, okay, see you soon. I gotta go.
So let's talk about Karen.
Let's talk about
She's
Karen.
the bomb.
Hi, Karen.
I don't think you have met her, have you?
I haven't. I only know her
And
through
she used to
Facebook.
come to gala. Well, yeah, I know. Everybody always says that. Like, even my family in Italy, the first time I went to Italy, Karen, because they knew her. They knew her,
They
and
knew
they
her.
see what our life is, right? So, right. I mean, you if you see my social media, the balance is the balance. The balance is having a job that I love that doesn't feel like a job. Like I always say, it's not a profession. It's like a vocation. Like it feels like that, but also having a life. Like I have a big family. She has family. She's amazing. My wife is just like awesome. And
well, she
you
puts
know,
up with you, Kathy. So she's got to be
that's
amazing.
well, that's I don't know if that's awesome. That's like that's a
fact.
full-time job. Yeah, that's, you know. I'm okay though. I'm a good cook.
You're awesome.
We get to do fabulous things.
And what you said was so true. It's like, you know, the balance. Like I'm constantly trying to find the balance. Okay, yeah, I want to go. I want to help. I want to advocate. I want to be a part of this. I want to do service here. But I also need to take time and be a good wife sometimes. And you do that. Like on your social media, you can tell where it's like, it's family time. I'm not dealing with anything. I might check my email twice just to let everybody know.
Well, and she's good about letting me know that. It's about, you know, communicating, because it's easy to get really like, not sucked in, that's not the right word, but just like feel so responsible that you know, you're doing this work, you got to do it all the time. You can't miss an email, you can't miss a phone call. And that's also part of the culture at the task force, that there needs to be balance. Like we were checking on each other all day through Creating Change and Winter Party. You okay? You need a break? Like, we actually, in our run schedules, have, breaks and rest time put in. It's so easy to get caught up in this stuff and feel like you have to do everything. And then yes, like my family is ridiculous. Like the kids are just, they're everything. The kids in my life, the little ones, Karen's nephew has kids that are just like so freaking adorable. And my niece's little ones are just, they're delicious. And
don't you think that kids that grow up around the LGBTQ plus community are just more
girl, my 6-year-old great niece, you misgender somebody, she'd be like, I'm so sorry, Nikki goes by he now. And this is like her older sister's friend, or my daughter goes by Mars now, and if somebody uses her, her birth name, she's like, no, she goes by Mars now. Like these kids are,
they're way ahead of the game.
She teases me about us being married. Oh, right, you can get married now. She's 6.
Yeah, she's 6 years old.
And she's got,
she's more in tune with our community than some folks I know. So
these kids coming up, like, it's really interesting because, the teenagers, the 20-somethings.
Look at Max Fenning. You had him speaking at Creating Change. I mean, that boy is just incredible. And I forget that he's 20 years old. I met him when he was 17. And
X Gonzalez was at Creating Change.
Yes.
And they are, they're one of my favorite people in the whole world.
Yes,
but they are.
Their speech was
super
incredible.
Powerful at the gala, right? But then they came to Creating Change, and they were on a plenary. Fine, they came with their parents again, but they also went through the whole conference and experienced the larger community. They just graduated from college with a degree in activism. So, there's the deep end of the pool.
There it is.
Probably got like 12,000 job requests by the time they left. But it was, this is a very empowered generation, and they know how important it is to get involved, and they know how important it is to vote. So you've got my daughter 17, she'll be 18 in September. You've got these kids coming up, and they take it for granted. They don't understand. And that's fine. That's what we've been working so hard to do. Yeah. I don't blame them for that. I just want them to know their history.
That's it. That's important.
They know their history. And they do. But that's the hope. That's where the hope and the joy can come from, is that, we need another generation to come up. We need some of these old trans folks to go away. And, we need to just keep working at it. It's a lot of this is cultural change. I've said it to, a bazillion reporters when they're talking about, all these bills are introduced and, there's some of them that don't pass. But the mere introduction
is enough,
which causes the conversations that are filled with misinformation and lies about us and trans youth and people in our community. That's damaging
and dangerous.
It's dangerous. There's not enough information out there. It's not, we're not talking about marriage or the military or things that people conceptually understand or learned more. We're starting with a deficit in education particularly around trans and gender issues, and it's
uphill battle.
It's going
to be a long battle. It just feels like we're going at a snail's pace and then taking 3 steps back and then going one little step up, and it just it's frustrating. What inspires you, Cathy?
What I was just talking to kids. Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Well, kids and old people too. Like doing the stuff for the task force for the 50th, I'm getting to meet with folks that, were involved in the early days. And there's this one guy, he literally cold emailed me. It was so fun. He's 91 years old. He was on our founding board. He lives in New York City across from the LGBT Center, but he's not he's 91, like 2010.
Yeah.
And I went to visit him at his apartment, and he pulled out all of this stuff from the 70s. I'm getting them digitized because they're not even betas. I don't even know what these tapes are. They're gigantic. Like the David Susskind show, 1973, 1974. Google David Susskind if you don't know who that is. My mother watched David Susskind. Things like homosexuals coming out of the shadows. These were the first folks who were willing to go on TV, on a talk show, and be themselves and talk about themselves without any shame, talk about being people of faith, talk about being gay. And he's still around. He ran for city council in the 70s, and I want him at the front of that Pride March in New York City. Oh, I gave away a surprise. Anyway.
I knew it. I knew she'd give away something.
We'll be there with him,
Oh my God.
And that's going to be really, watching folks like that get their flowers and also seeing young people connect with them is really, that's the joy. The people.
Cathy, we need to clone you. Like, make like at least 100 of you. Maybe we'll get farther.
That would be scary.
I mean, maybe
Don't
for
tell
your
my
wife. Right? 100 Cathys? Oh my God.
One could stay home all the time.
That's true. And then you know, and
Do
then,
the laundry,
and then you wouldn't
you know.
miss her. No, then she'd be like, can you please go do something
exactly.
outside? Right? How can we help? How can our viewers help? What can we be doing? Where should we be? What link should we be looking for? Where should we be donating? Tell us.
I mean, for the task force, it's easy to find us. We're on all the social at the task force. Our website is thetaskforce.org. But the thing people can do is like get involved locally, get involved where you live, get involved in your community.
There's organizations in every community.
Organizations everywhere. And the thing is, we need to all be tied together. We need to be collaborating more. We need to be partnering more because we are up against such an onslaught that there's being isolated or being siloed is not, we're not going to be as successful. It's going to take too long.
And not taking care of all the letters in our acronym.
Well,
okay,
that's beside the
listen,
point, right?
but again, together, we're not going to win shit, Cathy, okay, unless we stand together, and we have issues with that. So
we do, yes. Well, I say this all the time, like, we have to educate ourselves. I did not know a lot about trans issues when I became an activist in the late 80s, early 90s. I learned.
And I'm still learning, and I'm still learning, and I still make mistakes, and I correct my mistakes, and I ask questions, and I'm not afraid to ask questions. And you might get somebody that might be pissed off at you because you're the 10th person to ask them on the wrong day when they lost their phone. Okay, well then you ask the next person. Okay, and that's it. Cathy Renna from the National LGBTQ Taskforce. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for being on the FayWhat show. You know that every time you're down here, your ass is in my bed.
And I'm going to be, well, all right, we'll rephrase that later.
Karen, you know what I meant, girl.
Anytime I'm here, which is going to be more.
Good.
Like, we're doing more.
Good.
We'll be back. I'll be
Good.
back.
I love you, Mama. I love you so much. Thank you for all you do.
You're so welcome.
Make sure that you follow Cathy Renna on all social media. Make sure that you know what the task force is doing. Find out how you can get involved and how you can help. Trust me, you tell them, hey, I want to volunteer. They'll put you to work.
We'll put you to work.
They will find something for your cute butt to do.
That's right.
Trust, all right? We'll be right back. Finally this morning, I want to get our week started by telling you some things that are really important to me. It's Faye, what's on my mind? So what's on my mind? Cancer's on my mind. Yes, my 2-year journey is on my mind. I am cancer-free and I'm very blessed. And I can't lie and say that at the beginning I wasn't freaking scared out of my mind and wondering why me. I even Googled if being gay could have given me cancer. I really did. But here's the thing. Yes and no. Okay, we do not know nearly enough about cancer in the LGBTQ plus community, and we need to know more. None of the large national cancer registries and surveys of cancer incidents collect data about sexual orientation or gender identity, leaving lesbians, gays, bisexuals, and transgender cancer survivors like me embedded but invisible among the vast wealth of information that these surveys provide to other groups. Other ethnic, geographic, and racial populations are able to use that data gotten from these statistics to develop prevention and treatment programs dedicated to getting rid of these health disparities that they face. They know precisely how prevalent cancer is in their communities. Well, lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people do not. Now there is reason to believe that LGBTQ people are carrying a disproportional cancer burden. There is enough research to confirm that lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people have a unique cluster of risk factors that would lead us to have both greater cancer incidence and later stage diagnosis. We estimate that over 1 million LGBTQ plus cancer survivors are in the country today. This disproportionate burden of disease is referred to as a health disparity. And health disparities in the LGBTQ plus community are caused by different reasons. There are no biological or physiological differences between LGBTQ plus people and hetero people. The disparities are caused by a combination of social, economic factors and behaviors that comes with the stress of living as a sexual gender minority in this country. Well, unfortunately, the health disparities don't stop there with just cancer diagnoses. For more than 1 million LGBTQ cancer survivors in the country today, the effect of disease and treatment on quality of life is way different from that of our heterosexual friends in the area of sexuality, social relationships, and dealing with the medical community. So get checked out if you feel a lump or something. You know, for the most part, we know our bodies, right? Especially if you have cancer in your family history. I know our community does not trust healthcare workers to the max. I get it. Many are not trained in how to understand and care for our community, honestly, but there are other resources for healthcare for the LGBTQ plus community. Look it up in your area. Here in South Florida, we've got Care Resource, we have Can Medical, we have Midland, we have mental health, we have Midland, we have Midland, we have mental health. What else do we have? We have a bunch of places that you can go to, okay? We have SunServe. I promise that there's somewhere to get help and get access to fair health care where they will know the answers when asked about the effect of prostate cancer on gay men's sexuality, for instance, or where they can receive culturally competent support on issues of sex. Early detection might have saved my life. And it could save yours too. Just because LGBTQ plus have these disparities doesn't mean that we have to die of cancer because we won't get checked out, because we won't find the tools and the resources to help us live these lives beyond our wildest dreams that we deserve as LGBTQ plus people. So happy 2 years cancer-free to me. And on my birthday, all I want is for you to go get checked out and find resources to make sure that you are okay, especially if you have cancer in your family history. So that's it. That's the FayWhat show. I hope that you had fun. I am really passionate about trying to connect the L and the G in our LGBTQ plus community. It's often hard for us girls. And if we believe that we are one strong community, then we must support all the letters of our LGBTQ plus. We opened the show with a nod to Mary Tyler Moore and That Girl's Marlo Thomas. This show is dedicated to a strong LGBTQ plus community. I just encourage you to be a little bit kinder, a little bit funnier, and embrace our tremendous diversity. It's what makes us so damn strong. I want to say thank you to my friend Paul Rhodes for being in bed with me today. He was awesome. To the just incomparable Cathy Renna for also being in bed with me. She was also incredible. Until next Monday, world, at 9 a.m. live or anytime on demand. Me, I'm FayWhat, and I'm #ThatGirl. I wish you a week full of sunshine and rainbows. Stay gay. So, did you enjoy the show? I know you did. So make sure to click subscribe so you won't miss any of the events, news, or interviews right here on the FayWhat show. Ring the bell at the bottom of the screen, right there, so you'll be alerted every time we're live. You can also click on the Happening Out Television Network logo so you can see all of the shows on the most diverse LGBTQ plus media network. Find out just what we're doing to bring the L and the G together right here on the FayWhat show. Get the week started.